Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome. I want to welcome you guys to Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine and the Crew Podcast. Y'all, we have an amazing author with us on tonight. I'm sure you can see all of my little advertisements. Yeah, she's kind of a little special to me. She is one of the hosts over on the Crew Podcast. Woo woo, them divas of the airways. She is the host of Believe in the Journey. She's also a publisher. If you need a book published, she can help you get that book out. We was just talking about her, so I know her ears was burning because we were just talking about her on the last broadcast. But I'm excited to have her attached to this 100 authors movement. She's one of the group leaders, and I am excited to be able to share what she's doing. Because y'all believe it or not, this young lady has about, I'm gonna say she has about probably about 10 books out. And then she's been a part of collaborations and all of this, but she's never had a book signing. So y'all expect a lot from her in 2025. I'm gonna move on out the way and allow this beautiful queen to come on in the scene and share with you guys exactly who she is and all she got going on in 2025. So, welcome, Miss Chavita.
Hello, everybody. I am her little sister, Travita Harris, and I was born and raised in Spartanburg, South Carolina, small little town. I'm very small in stature, but big in spirit. There's a lot of things that she said. In addition to those things, I'm a mother of 3 adult children. I am a grandmother of 2, a boy and a girl, and they are my pride and joy. My kids now say that I don't pay them any attention now that the grandkids are here, which I don't believe that. They still get spoiled, just not as much. Outside of that, yes, I am a publisher. I'm an editor. I'm also a podcast host on the Crew podcast. It is Believe in the Journey, which airs every second Sunday and fourth Thursday of the month. I just love what I do. Outside of that, I don't know. Any questions you got? Just go ahead and
Well,
put them in the thing.
I have plenty questions today. I got plenty questions today. I got them. So, as being a self-published author, can you share some of the challenges that you may have faced as a self-published author versus a traditional author?
Yes. When I first started the self-publishing journey in 2020, I honestly had no clue, no idea on what to do or how to get started. And so I had very little knowledge of what formatting, editing. I had no clue. And to figure that process out was really a headache and it was a hassle. And honestly, I threw my laptop a couple of times because I could not figure out what it was asking me. And eventually I just said, you know what, God, whatever it is for me to do, I'm going to do it. And if it doesn't look perfect, it doesn't matter. It's just me being obedient to what you're telling me to do. And that's what I did. And it was it was difficult, but it wasn't hard in the sense of just not getting it done, because me, with anything, I'm gonna figure it out over time. It may take me a minute, but eventually I am going to make sure that I get it done. Going through a publishing company or anything like that. Never crossed my mind. Only because I like to do stuff on my own before I reach out and ask for help. When it gets to be too much for me to handle, that's when I'll ask for help. But for me, having a stroke at the age of 30 and also being diagnosed with Chiari malformation, which are both that deal with the brain, I wanted to be able to challenge myself to get the knowledge so that I can share it with somebody else. Because when you're dealing with things that alter the way your brain receives information, it can be difficult. And I didn't want to frustrate anybody else with me being frustrated and not understanding what they were trying to tell me. So that was one of the challenges that I faced with that. But I got it done.
Wow. And it that you share about your disability or whatever. I was just sharing with a young guy. He shared with me that you helped him through a writer's block situation that he had, and how you helped him through. And I was telling him, I said, well, you know what? I said, I think because of her disability and how she had to adapt to a lot of things, I said it seems like she is taking those skills that she's learned with having to adapt with her disability, and she's been able to apply them to writing, and she can share that with somebody else. I say, you lucky. I say, you know that lady that helped you? I say, she's your group leader. And I told him, look, I say, well, he said he want a book out by April. I said, well, you better not let her know you want it out by April. I say, because it'll be out by April if you let her know. I say, well,
Oh
you just let me know so she gonna know. I said, because she probably gonna be watching. She probably gonna hear the replay. I said, then we probably gonna get on here and talk about it. So I don't put it
yeah.
out there now. It's out there. So
Oh
his name
Zachary
is
better
Zach.
get
He said
ready.
he's in your group.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I got it. Well, listen, he's gonna have it out by April, so ain't no need to even second guess that it'll be out by April. Anybody that is in my space and they tell me they want to write a book, they have 90 days. And that's all I give them. And I don't have time for the excuses. Most of them say, well, I'm scared. I don't really know what to do. I don't know where to get started.
Right.
And just like the advice that I gave him, when we all deal with writer's block, if you're a writer, you know that it's going to come. All you have to do is not overthink the process, which most people do. They think, oh, I got to have it all mapped out. I got to have everything. No, what you need to do is take 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 to 30 minutes. Set a timer. Write down everything that comes to mind. If you have a concept, that's all you need is that concept. We can edit the page later. You just need to put the stuff on the paper. If you want to type it out, you can type that too. At the laptop, sit down. Give yourself 30 minutes. Make sure you're in a comfortable space. Give yourself that time. And once your 30 minutes is up, if you're still writing, keep going. That's how you get through that writer's block situation. But don't consume yourself with, oh my god, it has to be perfect right then and right there. It does not. That is what your editor, like myself, comes in handy for. Use us for those particular things. If you have questions, you get stuck, that's fine. Take a break, walk away, do whatever you need to do. Go clean the house, wash the dishes, do some laundry, do whatever you need to do, but come back to it. And I promise you, you'll get through with finishing everything that you got.
So, what is your creative process when working on solo projects versus working on anthologies?
For myself, it's basically just getting in the middle of my bed with my laptop and just writing what comes to mind, whatever the concept is, whatever I want to write about. I just take that time and write every single thing that comes to mind. If it's just a word or whatever, I can compound and go back and expand upon that once I've gotten it out. I've learned to keep my phone close by if I don't have time to get to my laptop or anything like that. If I'm at work, something so a patient may say or anything like that, an idea may pop up. So I've learned to have my phone close by and just record. myself saying what it is that came to mind. If it's a poem, if it's anything like that, I've learned to keep that close by, or a pen and paper close by. So most things inspire me to write. um Driving in the car, if I see the way the traffic is flowing. So I don't really have a creative space. It's just wherever I am moving, something will come to me and I just utilize that. But I make sure that my phone is close by, especially if I'm driving. I'll have that phone and I can hear the audio record and just record the thought that I have, so that way I can go back and write it down or type it out.
Okay. So, how did you find your audience? How did you find the people that you were supposed to write for?
Honestly, I didn't find them. They were sent to me. They found me. And it's crazy because I live by this, and that is God connects me to the people that I'm supposed to be connected to in the time in which I need them and they need me. And so I've never gone in search of anybody. Even my guest for my podcast, um, every guest that I've had on that podcast so far has been confirmation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And the people that I have either helped with an anthology book or um, been a part of an anthology book have all been somewhat connected in the space where I'm supposed to be at the time I'm supposed to be. And even our connection, we started and we met doing a virtual monologue 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, maybe even three now. um, and that was just by God's design also, because the part that I auditioned for um, was just a background person. It was never meant for me, at least in my eyes, never meant for me to be in the forefront. But when you pray and ask God about something, he hears you and he usually answers right away. The lady that was supposed to play Miss Motivation ended up dropping out. And I got that part, but her part was a non-speaking part. And I had to come up with some lines for that. So I don't necessarily know how I get connected outside of God, His plans.
So, how important have building meaningful connections been in your literary journey?
It's been amazing. It's been a beautiful way of learning and connecting with people that I never thought I would have an opportunity to connect with. I've made some really good friends that we keep in contact. We text each other, call each other, speak on a regular basis through Messenger on Facebook. Um, and I've gained a lot of new sisters, Um, they call me they've nicknamed me evangelist, and I don't necessarily know where that comes from, but I'm not necessarily saying that I am one of those. I just know that I share my journey with each person I come in contact with, because I know that somebody can utilize, and those connections mean the world to me. And I want to make sure that if I'm not in a space to where I can inspire or encourage, then I don't want the connection, and I don't want you to be connected with me if there's nothing that I can offer to you. So I try to make sure that anybody that comes into my space, that they know that they are genuinely loved, cared for. It doesn't mean that we have to be, in agreement every single time. If I feel that you're wrong on something, yeah, I'm going to say something. I'm not going to hinder myself from saying, because I don't want you to think that we have to agree on everything. So I'm gonna be real, true, and honest at all times.
So, on this journey, I know we run across surprises. What has been the most surprising thing as a self publisher and a publisher and editor? What has surprised you about yourself in this journey?
Um, what has surprised me and what I've learned about myself is I do know how to say no. I do know how, because at one point I was just, excited to be able to help people. But I also had to realize not everybody wants help. Some people want you to do the work for them and then take the credit afterwards. And I had to learn to set really strong boundaries and to stand on that. And not every person is a genuine person, and I had to learn that just because I am that kind of person, everybody's not going to see it that way. They want to get what they can and take it and run, but not be held accountable for when they're wrong. And I'm not one to do that. So I had a situation with one young lady that I helped with her first anthology book. And we had one of the ladies that basically wanted to take credit for her anthology by putting it on her own. And I didn't agree with that. And I took up for her because it was basically like the lady was trying to do it behind her back. And then she wanted to try to bring God into it and all of that. God, no, no, no. We're not going to do that because God doesn't operate like that. If you wanted this woman to know what you were doing, you would have told her up front that that was your intention. And you would not have been lying about that. So that has been one of the things that made me be more clear and direct.
Mm-hmm.
And it is sometimes people don't know how to take clear and direct communication. They feel like you're being aggressive, but at the same time, I'm not being aggressive. It's just expectations that I have. Because if I hold myself to that same standard, I want you to hold yourself to that standard. And if you can't be accountable for when you're wrong, then you're going to have a problem with me, because I'm going to admit to things when I'm wrong and do what I need to do to correct that behavior. But standing on what I'm telling you is clear and direct. You just got to learn how to, everybody's feelings, you can't coddle them. You can't coddle emotions. Some people are so used to being coddled and talked to as if they're infants when you're grown. No, we're not doing that.
Right. So, what has been one of your most proudest moments as a um, self-published author or as a publisher?
I want to say for myself, it was completing the books that I had in mind, making and seeing them through to the end. Because sometimes I will admit I am a procrastinator when it comes to myself, but when it comes to other people, I get it done. My proudest moment was completing the first anthology for the young lady and her other authors during a time of transition with my mom, her passing. And I did not know if I was going to be able to complete the task and meet her deadline, and while dealing with my mom and her transition. And I actually beat the deadline that I had given myself, even though she had a deadline. I met the deadline ahead of time, and we still had time to play with. And she ended up being number 5 on the bestsellers of new releases that year. So it was a bittersweet experience, and I'm glad that I was able to do that for her and myself, because she was my first client that truly believed in the potential that I had to offer to her. And not only that, we've done a second book where I was a contributor and author as well for that. So
Wow.
that's been my proudest moment so far.
So, as a aspiring author and someone that may be tuning in, listening, what advice would you give to someone that thinks that they have a book in them, or they've been told that they have a book and they just don't know where to start? What would you say to them?
everyone has a story, everyone has a book, and what I would definitely tell them is to sit down with yourself and think about what it is you want the world to know about you. It doesn't matter that you've been through some hard moments, some hard times, or anything like that, because your struggles, your journey, your testimony is what comes from the end of your experience, your triumphs, and everything. Somebody needs to know that what you've gone through, you've been able to overcome, you've been able to maneuver through that. So, share that journey. Don't worry about being judged, because we're all going to be judged. But this is the thing that I always tell people, and the one thing that I tell my sister all the time is that they talked about Jesus, but that never stopped him from doing what he was put on this earth to do for us. And so if you consistently worry about what people think about you, that's not your business anyway. Your business is to do and tell your story, because somebody else will be able to understand what you've gone through was not the end. You came out on the other side. So take that time, sit down with your pen and paper, and start to write and share your testimony. It's not just a story, it's a testimony to where you were, to where you're going, and everything in between. So what I would say is share your story. Somebody needs to hear that. Somebody needs to grow from what you are currently experiencing. And when you look back over your life from 5 years ago to where you are currently, you've overcome some things that you never thought you would see the other side of. And that's what people need to hear. So take that time, write that story. If you need some help, need some guidance, I got you. Reach out to me.
So, the movement. What inspired you to say, okay, well, let me go ahead and join this 100 author movement? Let me go and join this and see what they doing.
What inspired me is because it's not, you don't hear about a lot of black authors in this space, because most of the time they always say black folks don't read unless it's a gossip column, unless it's drama related or anything like that. But that's not true. And I wanted to be one of those voices to let people know that the literary world is compounded of people that look like them, like me, that can take you on different genres, different avenues, different aspects of life in every genre that you can think of, because we fit in every space, even spaces where they try to tell us that we don't fit. We fit, we belong, and we are going to dominate in every area that we go into, simply because we are just that good. And I wanted people to understand and know that there are black authors out here, and when we collaborate and move together, that the movement will definitely continue to move, and it will not be stopped.
Wow, powerful. As one of the group leaders, what unique perspective or voice would you like to leave with this movement?
Hmm. That you named the group, the luminaries, and one thing I can say about that, I had no idea why you named the group that. But the light that I have, I want to be able to shine it upon those who may be in the dark about themselves, about their journey, about their life, because I know what it's like to be in a dark space and to be in a time where you're not sure if you're going to make it through what you're going through. Like I said, I had a stroke and was diagnosed with Chiari malformation, which is a serious neurological condition. Lost my ability to walk, lost my ability to speak. As you can see, I'm speaking very well now. Being counted out, by man, but not being included in, what man said. Man said to get used to all of those things, but God said, if you trust me, I'll get you where you need to go. And I'll be honest, I've ran from speaking in front of people and doing those types of things, because I never saw myself as a public speaker. But everything that God has placed in front of me has been a connecting piece. So all I can say is just stay focused and stay the course. because God has a plan for everything that you've been through. And being in this group, the luminaries, I want to be able to shine light on people in any space, any capacity, whether it is in person, through virtual meetings, through videos that I post, anything content wise. I want people to understand that they can have light and love, and they provide a spark also. Y'all, that's my grandbaby in the background. She's getting some juice.
She want everybody to know that she is preparing to take over this spot that her grandma's sitting in soon. That's what
Oh,
she
yeah.
letting everybody know.
Oh yeah, most definitely, cause she definitely knows that she's gonna be my right hand assistant because she has her little laptop now. Like I had to get her one of her own because anytime I pull my laptop out, she get there and she have to do her work too, and she say, baby work, TT, baby work." Yes, ma'am. So she got her little laptop now, and she sit beside me, and I'm doing my work and she's doing hers too. So she's prepared. She wants to be part of this already. So I want to make sure that I leave a good legacy for her to follow.
Well, you're training them up right. Say train them up the way that you would want them to go. Even if they depart, they'll come back. So you're doing the right thing. I say we got to get our babies involved in a lot more things. For that person that may be tuned in and they're wondering if this is something that they want to do, if they want to be a part of this movement, what would you say to them to encourage them to come on and join us?
I would say, come on and join us because you have something to offer to the next person that's sitting next to you, the person that you may meet in the grocery store. You have something to offer to all of us. We don't always see everything from the same perspective. So it's always good to be in a space to where you can look at things in a different light because sometimes we get so one-sided that we think that that's the only way to get 2 plus 2 is 4. But there's multiple ways to get 2 plus 2 equals 4. You can get 4 multiple ways, but are you willing to take a look at what somebody else has to say? So if you want to look at things in a different perspective, get different ideas and bounce things off of other people and get the support, come and join us because that is what we're here to do. We're not here to compete. We're not here to criticize. Now, there might be some constructive criticism, but that's necessary for growth. If you're not willing to grow and be uncomfortable, then I would say stay where you are because if you're content with being just basic, just stay where you are. But God never intended for you to be basic. So just throw that out the window. That ain't what you here for. You here to actually be extraordinary because that's what God has already ordained for you to do. So come on over here. Stop sitting over there in the corner in the little quiet section. God never intended for you to be quiet. He intended for you to be loud and to walk with purpose because He created you for a purpose anyway. So come on, come on, join us.
Well, you dropped a lot of nuggets on tonight. You shared a lot on tonight. You've been transparent. How can those that are not following you, how can they follow you? How can they support you? How can they get your books? How can they follow your podcast? How can they get your inspiration? How can they just stay connected?
You can find me on Facebook, Travita Harris. There ain't nothing strange about that. I tell people this little crazy and cheesy analogy to spell my name or to remember my name, and that is if you can say Velveeta cheese, you can say Travita. So it's cheesy, but it works. It'll help you remember my name. But it's Travita Harris on Facebook. My publishing business is Wings of Transformation Publishing. It is on Facebook. On Instagram, it is Wings of Trans 21 since it was established in 2021. On Instagram, it is Travita underscore Harris 78. And I'm on TikTok, but I don't be on TikTok that like that, so you ain't gonna find too much on there. I do have a YouTube channel also. Has some really good videos on there. Talks about dropping the dead weight because we carry weight that is not for us to carry. Get them people back their stuff. Other thing is Where else? The Believe in the Journey podcast is on the Crew Podcast Network. It airs every second Sunday and fourth Thursday of the month. And I am looking for guests to be a part of season 3. So if you want to be one of my guests, you want to talk to me, you want to reach out, you need some encouragement, reach out. And also in 2025, we have a organization that we're going to be doing. So stay tuned. Check out my Facebook page. If y'all going to be listening and looking for me, y'all better tune into the conversation tonight that me and Miss Angela going to be having tonight. So y'all hear about that tonight. I ain't going to tell you no more.
Well, I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on tonight. So while I have the chance to give you some flowers and to give you your little props, we're going to give you a little hand clap of praise on your way out because I truly, 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 truly appreciate you for all that you do. I tell you, you are truly amazing. And y'all, that's my half pint. So one more time.
Thank you. Thank you.
And y'all, she will be my guest on tonight. She will be my guest tonight on the WBNN. We will be streaming live on Talk Shoe Radio. So if y'all want to come on in and visit with us, if you go over to Talk Shoe Radio on the website, go under live broadcasting and click on Beverly Nation, and you will be able to see us live. If you want to call in, y'all, it's a long list of numbers. But if you want to call in, I have a flyer that has all of the instructions. If you want to call in, I can get that flyer to you. I have it posted all over social media. But I would love for you guys to join us tonight. We're going to be talking about stepping into purpose. Of course, the name of my show is called Walking in Purpose with Angela. So we're going to be talking about stepping into purpose. We're going to be talking about what that means to Travita in her 2025. So we're going to be talking about this new association that's going to be launching coming soon. And we're going to be touching on a lot of things. So if you want to come on and catch up and stay up to date and get involved because it's all about being involved, creating and leaving a legacy. That's what we're doing. So join us tonight, y'all. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all for supporting the 100 authors to watch. They are somebody to watch.